Hey, this is Ken, and we're going to be getting this thrift store Strife ready for modification here. And already taken all the screws out, kind of cracked the cover loose. There's always a post right in here. It takes a little extra effort. And this is kind of an older model, so we've got the spring-loaded dart gates instead of some of them have a rubber cover. We also have an upper dart guidepost, which newer models don't have, so that'll come out right away. Take our door here. So basically, we're wanting to get this thing ready just to we're going to strip out all the electronics. We're going to be putting a MOSFET controller in here, and I figured I would take this opportunity to kind of just talk through how this all goes. So that's your trigger. So that exposes your polyfuse here, which is connected to the negative battery terminal. And these are typically like 1.6 amp fuses that heat up and increase resistance, so they keep your motors from melting down. And as we increase our battery capacity and our motor capacity, we're going to want to look at increasing our fuses as well. Okay, so triggers out. So the rev switch, we're going to be soldering into this one so that we can turn our motors on and off. Oh, yeah, we're going to need him. But for now, we're just going to cut off wires. And let's see. Okay, so this was the interlock for the between the rev switch and the trigger. And we're going to actually put this in because we don't want to be introducing a dart. Motors are turning, which is what that prevents. A few of these interlocks I do like to keep in. Okay. Yeah, let's see if we can get this guy back together like that. So you can see how that pull the rev switch pulls the lever down, and that's gonna release the trigger. And we're gonna leave our switches in place until we're ready to solder into those. So I will pull that on there. Okay, so up under here is another one of these interlocks, and this is the clip detect interlock, and we can actually use this to this switch here to determine when a clip is inserted and removed. There is however an interlock that let's see if I can remember how this works. Yeah, it keeps the trigger from being pulled unless there's a clip inserted. And so let's pull him out of there. That's not terribly useful. And here we have another single pull, single throw switch, like the rev switch. And in a strict MOSFET setup, we don't need him, but if we do the smart blaster, then we will. And in this case, the spring return is provided by the switch itself. And we will throw that back on there. And let's go ahead. I always end up with so many screws. I think deal with those is just to put them back where you got them until you're ready for them. Okay, let's take a look under here. This is our wire way for getting power up to our motor here. And I mentioned, so these are thermal, these are negative. So this is a single pole double throw switch, and this is part of, so your lid needs to be shut to energize the whole circuit between the rev switch and the clip switch to get the motors to turn. And additionally, if you pop this open, it flips the circuit over so it starts motor braking. I think they're worried about kids, sticking their fingers in there, so they want to slow it down as quick as possible, and we're not gonna worry about that too much. So there's always some heat shrink on the middle lead, which is gonna have to come off because we're gonna solder onto that, but for now I'm just gonna clip it right there. And for a plain MOSFET setup, I usually don't use that, but you still want this to kind of latch in your jam door. Let's see, we had back over here. So this white is the positive lead from the battery. We're going to clip that off. And he's off. And that just leaves us our motors here. So stock Strife motors. These 4 screws are just a little bit longer than standard body screws. So we want to keep a good track of them. And then as far as the body screws, I don't think I mentioned, but the 2 up on the upper rail are shorter, and then the rest are all the same. And then so barrel comes out, screws, and these are all going to fall off. Okay, so we'll keep those up there. So this is our motors. These look like resistors, but these are actually inductive capacitors. They don't have a whole lot of resistance. They're just producing electrical noise, which we're not too worried about. FCC is probably not going to come looking for you. The one thing I forgot, I usually do this, but you notice how the red was on the front side of these and the black was on the back side. So to get our darts going the right way, we're going to want to remember that orientation. Okay, fuses out. And let's flip this guy back over. And then depending on how much work I'm going to do, if I want to store the pieces, you can pull out your sling clips here, I always end up losing these guys, and you can store them separately. Like I said, most of this not going to be too worried about, so we'll throw our spring back in there, or our rev switch. This guy comes around, goes here, and of course I lost that screw down there. So this is kind of special because it has a flange on it. So we're going to throw him. Actually, yeah, these 2 are the same. So this is the one that holds the trigger in place. So we'll throw him in there. Another interesting thing, it looks like at one point there was, they're thinking about having a spring for returning the trigger, and I've never seen a Strife yet that has it actually installed. So I guess they decided this is the spring that provides the return pressure. They probably decided that was fine. So there's your interlock. And so we remove that interlock. So that's not going anywhere. All right, let's that's it. It's ready for whatever modifications we have planned for it.